Gonzo's Convos, Season 5, Episode 17. Today I have Anita. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up? I'm Anita. Usually, most people know me by Miss Unapologetic, according to my TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah,
But for those of you who don't know, my name is Anita, and I'm super excited to be on your podcast.
appreciate that. So where does the nickname Miss Unapologetic come from?
I made it up because it's something that has stuck with me for many years. A lot of people always say about how my personality is. I don't really care about what people think in a good way though, because I think there's levels to it. You cannot
Right.
care about what people think and be an asshole. But I think it's a healthy balance of just being true to who you are, not conforming to what other people feel you should be,
Right.
and not being sorry for being who you are. Because I think now, especially with social media and stuff, so many times you're constantly apologizing for something that is just be yourself. So that's
Right.
more so where it came from. It just kind of has stuck with me, and it's pretty much like the one word that would best describe me. So
I got you.
that's what it
So,
is.
so I'm sure me and you both know social media is a very toxic place. I mean, it could be a
Very
good place,
much.
but very toxic as well. What do you see people apologizing for the most on social media?
Anything that they feel will offend somebody, even if they do not actually feel it's offensive. That is probably the main thing that I see is people trying to be something that they're not, or
Mm.
agreeing with things that they maybe don't agree with simply
Right.
because they're scared of what people will say. Um, and that's unfortunate because then you start to lose who you are. You start to lose your own identity,
I got you.
because you're basically trying to be everybody else.
I got you. Well, I mean, on social media, you see that all the time. I probably see that mostly on TikTok, to be honest with
Hmm.
you. That's going to the trends and everything. Like once a super famous person on TikTok does a trend, everybody's real quick to follow behind that. It doesn't matter what it is
Yep.
or what. When the AI challenge first came out, remember that shit? I mean,
I
it's
don't even
still
want to talk about it.
people are
I
still.
don't even want to talk about it.
Well, when it first became a thing, I thought it was the weirdest shit ever because I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm not watching. You know what I mean? And just to see other people following that and doing that is crazy to me. So I came up
Which,
with
I mean, they're making money off of it, so kudos to them. But
right, they're making money, but it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? In a way.
exactly.
So like I came up with the ideology. I was like, so let's say Pinky Doll. I think that's who came up with the whole.
Hmm.
Let's say she went out in the backyard, ate some dog shit, and got famous off of it, got trendy for it. Everybody else is gonna be quick to follow and go do that same shit, no matter what,
Yep.
because it's gonna
Yep.
bring them the trend and it's gonna bring them money type deal.
Exactly. But it's crazy though because that just goes to show that no one is their own actual person anymore. They're just following
Mhm.
whatever they feel is going to get them attention because everyone's trying to get validated with attention at this point. They're filling voids that they can't fill in real life with social media. And it's unfortunate because they literally will jump at whatever they think will get them attention, even if it's something that they normally wouldn't do.
Exactly.
So,
And I noticed that people act the same too. Like they'll carry the same persona.
mhm.
That makes it the same persona as someone else. I don't really like that, to be honest, because
No.
I feel like I'm interacting with the same person over and over again.
Over and over again. And that's funny because on my TikTok, I do lives every now and then, and that's like the probably the main thing I get from people is your live is different because it's just chill. I'm usually just sitting eating my Doritos, drinking my soda, and
Yeah,
just talking. But I think that's so lost nowadays with TikTok and everything else because you're always trying to follow some trend. So most of the lives you see are people doing that weird shit where they're like laying in bed and people are gifting them stuff to
yeah,
have the alarms go off, or the people that are dressed up in animal costumes and doing weird shit. Um, but I just, I might joke around and like make a mockery thing out of it, but I'm never going to cross over to it. Could I make a lot of money off of that stuff? I'm sure if I put the effort and energy into it, but
yeah.
it's not worth changing who I am and what I've already built as who I am to do
That
something just because it's trending.
I was gonna say that,
Makes
and
sense.
it's probably something you don't want to do. You know what I mean? Like simple,
Mm-mm.
something as simple as that. Like I don't want to. Like for me, I don't want to do that stuff. Like I can never see myself doing something like that. So I'm like, that's
No,
never gonna be me.
no,
I'll knock it same as you, but I'm like, I'm not gonna do it.
no, definitely not.
Yeah. So would you say TikTok is the most toxic social media app there is out there, or would you give that title to like some other social media?
Mm, I would say TikTok probably is top tier for the most toxic. Only because you literally scroll through your For You page and you are coming across a multitude of really random shit because they put everything on there.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff is just so weird that I'm one like I almost get banned off of the stupidest of shit. And then I see my For You page and I'm like, how are you doing this on here and not being banned for it? Because this is like weird. I remember I saw one lady, she's like older. She had this other older guy that was acting like a dog, I think, on the floor, and he had like a diaper on, weird shit. And I'm like, how is this on here? But yet I can't say certain things without getting restrictions or eat my Slim Jims without it telling me that I'm doing something crazy. So
Right. Or like there was one thing I was drinking something before I was on live and they thought it was alcohol or something.
I literally was eating Slim Jims and they thought it was tobacco and put a restriction on my live in the middle of my lives. They thought I was smoking and it was Slim Jims.
Yeah. They banned you for some dumb. I've probably been in TikTok jail like probably 5 times or so.
It's terrible.
But I don't go live as often anymore because I'm like I'm so focused on the podcast and shit. So
Mm-hmm.
I've had a hard time trying to find time to go live type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But when I
Yeah.
do, I try to be wary of what I'm doing type of deal. And
I
like,
know, but then it's like you have to walk on eggshells and you can't really be yourself because you have to watch what you say, you have to watch what you do.
yeah, you can't
Not my
cuss or
thing.
anything. Like when I cuss on, I'm like, oh crap, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, I curse all the time. Are you not supposed to do that?
I don't know because
I have a
I
potty
got
mouth.
banned
I
for
don't
it
get
too.
banned for that.
I got banned for that. It was like hate speech or something like that. I'm like, what?
Oh, mm,
It's
no,
probably
I
because
didn't
I
get
was,
banned.
I was probably it's probably because I was talking to a troll. I don't know because there's a lot of
That's
trolls.
probably what it is.
You know, yeah.
I got banned one time during my live talking about the Eagles because people were coming on my page and trying to,
The
talk
Philadelphia
shit.
Eagles.
Hmm?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah,
You hate them, right?
absolutely not. Don't do that. That's my team.
We're not
Don't
going to
do that.
discuss. We're not
Don't do
going to.
that.
We're not going to
So
discuss
one
this.
one of
I'm gonna
you
discuss
ended up
this.
coming on my live and I was coming at them about it. And then they banned me. I forget what I said. I think I called one of them a name. So then they banned me. And I was like, oh, so we're just gonna let people that hate on the Eagles get me banned. That's cool.
Wait, you said it was
But
the live I was in that you got banned from?
no, I said it's one of you because clearly you don't like the Eagles. So
I don't
one
say
of you
nothing
came
though.
on.
I can't really talk shit. I'm a Raiders fan, you know. So,
Mm,
you know, we had a
mm.
interesting year this year, but
We're starting to fall off. I just don't want to talk about it, but it's okay. We're gonna come back, and that's all that
they was a
matters.
they was a power team until they lost to the Niners. You know what I'm
I
saying? That's
know. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened. But they were saying that Hertz was actually hurt and that he was still playing. Then they were saying about how, and the thing is, I don't do excuses. You get paid too much to play football.
right.
So I don't do excuses. So they were saying that they ran too many games in a row. They didn't have a rest week. That's not a good excuse for me.
Yeah, I just feel like there are too many excuses. Like a loss is a loss type
A
deal.
loss
No,
is loss. Just take it. Just take it as it is. Just
yeah.
take it as it is. But the
Who?
NFL has gotten super sensitive with everything.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
can't do anything.
that's every professional sport. Honestly, I mean,
Everything is a
NBA,
flag.
NBA got sensitive too.
Oh yeah. You just throw yourself on the floor and it's an instant flag.
Let me
It's too
guess,
much.
you a 76ers fan?
You know what? Technically, I've never really got big into basketball. I was more like baseball, football. So like Phillies, 100%, Eagles, 100%. I was
See,
just born into the Sixers. Like Allen Iverson, yes. But after that, mm-mm.
so you're from Philly. That's why I'm getting this one.
Yes.
Okay, I can kind of tell. I like Philly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've only been there once. So I'm originally from Colorado, but I lived in Maryland, and
Oh,
obviously
okay.
not too far. You know,
Mm-hmm.
good like 5 hour drive or
I
so.
don't
But
recommend it. I
you
don't
don't recommend
recommend
it?
it.
I had a good time.
It's a
People
good
thought,
time.
hey,
It's a good time.
people thought I was from the Puerto Rican community. I was like, fuck it. You know,
It depends on what part you go. Everyone says Philly, but they don't realize that there's so many different parts to Philly. It
different
really
areas. Yeah,
depends.
yeah.
Really depends.
I don't even know exactly what area I was in. I was with homies, so I was just going.
Mm,
You know, but it was cool. I fucked with it.
it's
You know,
nice. Certain areas are nice.
you can see some areas can be sketchy, but don't go that way.
Yeah, make a right. Don't make a
Yeah,
left.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
know y'all are serious about the Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah, that's disappointing because everywhere I've gone, I've yet to find one that tastes like a Philly cheesesteak or that has pizza steaks. No one has pizza steaks.
You about to get mad.
And
I'm not. I didn't say this, but there was someone. I don't know if you know what Charlie's is, but someone
mm-mm.
was like, Charlie's is pretty close to a Philly cheesesteak, and I was like, bruh, they gonna get mad at you. That's like saying,
I, you'd have to, it has to be taste tested by someone that actually knows what it's supposed to taste like.
that's like saying Chipotle is like homemade Mexican food, and I'm not.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. There's certain things that Philly has that cannot be replicated. It's something with the water. It's probably dirty water, but it's something with the water.
It's even how you say water. I could tell you from Philly. I
I
fuck
know
with.
it. Listen, I've tried. I've tried, especially with like my job. I know how to hold back my accent to an extent, but certain words I can't.
Why should you have to hold it back? That's part of you.
It
You know
is
what I'm saying?
part of me. It is part of me. But after a while, you constantly get the say water, say water. You know, it gets annoying.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but I can't change it. So it's just what it is.
Just people making fun of your accent or something. Or?
Always, because I moved away from Philly, so now it's so prominent because I'm not around people that speak like me. So
Would you
I
move
stick
like?
out.
Did you go from east to the west? What happened?
I actually moved down to Florida for about 7 years, and
Oh,
then I
okay.
just moved up to North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Actually, I don't know. I've been iffy on going to Florida, mainly
Why?
Miami. Like, I feel
Well,
like I'm gonna get
I
stuck.
wouldn't go to Miami.
I feel like I'm gonna get stuck in the nightlife and not be able to get out.
Miami is very much nightlife. I was in Central Florida, so it's not the same.
Oh, okay. You should check out Miami.
I
You
mean,
might be
I've
right.
been there once. I've been there once, but it's not my scene.
I
I'm
got
old school.
right. I don't really like going back to the generation talk. I don't like how clubs are these days. I don't really much like how bars are really. At least where I'm.
Mm-mm.
I feel like people don't really socialize that much. You know what I'm saying? Like
No one
people are
does.
so stuck to their phones and all this electronic bullshit.
Hmm.
They're so afraid to speak face to face with each other.
Very much so. Very much so. I
You
think
notice that?
people, the whole like social interaction thing has been lost.
Garbage. It's garbage.
And then even if you do get someone that knows how to interact with you, the conversation is just trash.
Like
It's just
when's the last time face to face you've been asked out on a date or know someone face to face has been asked out on a date?
not never.
That's garbage. That's garbage. And that's the generation we live in today. That's crazy, right?
Hmm. Yep.
So with that being said, right, with the social media, with the social game, do you feel like we're at a decline? Do you feel like we're might get better as the years go by?
I think we're declining because you know what? It makes it so easy to just stop communicating when you are either worried about something or scared. The communication is lost, but that's such a major part of any form of relationship.
Right.
Just not even dating, friendships, anything. It's such an important part is to communicate. And that's been lost terribly with social media. So now everyone just gets to hide at home. And you don't really have to talk if you don't want to talk. And if you get kind of called out on something, you don't need to talk about it because you can just turn your phone off and not talk about it. So the accountability has been lost because you can just hide behind your phone now. So
Right. And I'm thankful most of my homies are like me. They're like, they don't let the technology get to them. But I've seen a lot of friendships and I've seen a lot of relationships just get blown the fuck up because of
mhm,
social media, because of technology and shit like that. So I just think it's cool. We have all this technology. We have all this shit. It's cool. But it
mhm.
leaves a lot of leeway to people getting cheated on, people being fake to each other. Like, I don't understand where
Yeah.
that's coming from, but that's what's happening, you know?
But you know what? The social media doesn't help though, because they keep implementing all this shit that makes everything where you can put vanish mode on. You can
Yeah.
just, so as soon as I saw that Instagram put vanish mode, I was like, oh, so we're just helping people cheat now. That's cool. So I don't think social media is helping anything because it's like you're already probably lurking on someone's page you shouldn't be, and now you can message them and hide it. So the trust issues are at an all-time high because anything can be hidden at this point. It's not
At the
like
same
back in the day.
at the same time though, you could look at the owners of the social media, whoever the fucking CEO is, they just want to make the money. They're not here to save
Oh,
your
they don't
relationship.
care. They don't
they,
care.
they don't give a fuck about your relationship. They're just trying to make the money.
Exactly. They don't give a shit.
So I'm sure they see all the crazy bullshit going on, but it's making
Oh
the money.
yeah.
It's making
Oh
the money.
yeah. Oh yeah, they don't care. But it's just it allows so much more of a guide to be able to do those things that it allows relationships to not have the same foundation that they used to. Because
Right.
back in the day, you'd be scared if someone's looking through your phone or something and you see, the text messages, or you couldn't delete them. Now you can edit a text message, delete a text message after you send it. They've
Yeah.
made everything so just, the ability to hide things has gone to an all-time high. So the
Yeah.
fact that, you have to have a lot of trust in your partner, basically, that they're
Yeah.
not doing something they shouldn't be doing because they
So
have so
have
many tools.
so have you ever heard of a roster?
A roster,
Yeah.
like a list of people that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's stupid as shit because it's just, I'm old school. I'm like, if you want to be single and mess around with different people, that's on you. But you don't have to say this whole like I have a roster thing. It's just it makes you seem a little easy because you're basically out there flaunting the fact that you're messing around with most people. Back in the day, that used to be something that you just did on the, okay, I'm single, I'm doing what I want. You didn't have to flaunt it to everybody that you had six people you were messing with. Now it's like almost put out there as something that you should be proud of. And it's funny because I obviously have somewhat of a following on TikTok, and people think I have this like long roster. I don't have a roster. I don't do rosters. I don't have a roster. Unfortunately for me, once I like somebody, I like them and that's it. And anybody else just kind of goes and falls off. But they've made this roster thing such it's almost glorified, and it really shouldn't be because
It's
it's
glorified
not.
on both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It first started with it being glorified on the male side, like, oh, you got a lot of,
Mm-hmm.
excuse my French, you got a lot of bitches in your phone, so
Mm-hmm.
that's cool.
Yep.
And then when the female had that, it was like, damn, like you talking to that many dudes, like you nasty and this and that. But nowadays, it's kind of glorified by their friends. Like their friends are like, oh, look at all these dudes you got in your phone. That's cool.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I see it being glorified a lot.
It's
And
very glorified.
personally, because I used to be one of those dudes in high school. Obviously, I feel like we all kind of go through that loophole. Um, honestly, there's nothing to it really.
There's no benefit to it.
There's no benefit, and I found it more stressful than any.
You have to keep up with a lot.
You had to keep up with them. You had to memorize shit about them.
Yep.
Just to make sure they keep talking to you. And it's
I,
like,
I can barely remember my damn self. I can't hold five people at one time. It's not my thing.
yeah, I found it extra stress that I didn't need later on. In my high school life. So I was like, fuck that. I'm done with it.
And you know what it is too? A lot of people think they want to be a part of the roster just so that they can be a part of you, but then they don't actually want to be a part of the roster. So then you're dealing with emotions and people being attached.
Yeah,
It's just, the thing is, I really believe communication needs to be so important, and it's not anymore. But if more people were just honest about what the hell they wanted from the beginning and just said, hey, I don't want nothing serious, I just want to do this, and the other person was agreeing to it, you would have a much better relationship than sitting there and trying to manipulate something that is not, to make it seem like you love and care about this person. You don't have to love everybody. You can just have good company and enjoy good company. You don't have to be in love with everybody. But I
exactly.
think, everyone wants to feel that way or think that they have to make somebody feel that way in order to gain the benefit of them.
Yeah,
And that's where the whole situationships come from, which is this another stupid ass made up thing.
I just think that's a nicer way of saying friends with benefits. Honestly,
Exactly. Let's just get back to the
that's what a
basics. You have a
situation.
friend with benefits.
That's exactly what a situationship is. That's why I
And
don't
then
even
they
call
try
it
to make
that.
it seem like it's something that it's not, but you know what you're getting yourself into. If you're not
Right,
together, then what are you? Friends with
right,
benefits.
right.
So it's like people are so upset about the situationship, but it's like you put yourself there. You knew what it was. So don't make it seem like you're confused.
And it's weird when you ask them like, "Are you taken? Or are you single?" And they're like, it's complicated." No, it's not.
It's
Just
not.
say you fucking. That's it.
Exactly.
Straight up, just say
Exactly.
you fucking.
Exactly. But that's the problem. No one wants to be honest anymore because they're scared of what the other person is going to say about it, or they're scared that they may lose the benefit of the other person. So they'd rather just tiptoe around things than be honest about what it is.
So do you feel like
But
that's where a lot of the miscommunication this generation comes from? Is
yeah,
fear of other
a hundred
people?
percent. 100%. You know why? Because everyone's selfish. Everyone wants what they want. So if they are honest about it and then they lose that other person because that other person maybe doesn't want the same thing, then it's just easier to not communicate about it or lie about it so you can still get the benefit of it. No one wants to risk losing the benefit of somebody. So you
Yeah,
just
that's true.
pretend you're something else, but there's no such thing as actual relationships anymore. Like I've yet to see somebody that's in an actual relationship unless they're like already married or whatever, but if they're dating, they're not in a serious relationship.
Even married people, even married people. You know what I'm saying? That's where the whole thing comes in. Where it's what the fuck's that shit called? Swingers.
Oh yeah,
Swingers.
you need
You
to
know,
just be single.
you got people that swap wives, swap husbands and shit. So it's like, are they
I'm too
really
possessive. I can't
relationships at
do
that
that.
point? There's no commitment.
No,
In this day and age is not a commitment.
it's not existent. I don't think a lot of people are going to be getting married as much as they used to, because it's
I
too
see a lot of
much.
younger, like a lot of people my age, a lot of younger people getting married and stuff. You
I
know,
don't recommend.
that's the one and everything, which is cool if they're living happy now. But later on, we'll see what happens. You know,
I don't recommend. I don't recommend getting married early. I did it. I don't recommend because you change too much. A lot of people don't realize that your 30s are completely different than your 20s. You may think that they're not, but they are. Once you hit the 30s, you're a completely different person, and then
you're
you
in your
grow
30s.
apart from that. Uh huh.
No way, Cap. I call
Excuse
Cap.
me,
I call Cap. You're not in your 30s. You're like
Ex-
my age.
sir.
You
I'm
got it.
not your age.
You got to be. You.
I'm definitely not. My birthday is in March, and I'm gonna be 33 years old.
That's crazy. Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't look. You don't look in your 30s at
I
all.
know. I get carded for everything. At some point, it'll catch up to me.
What's funny is I'll get carded if I have no facial hair, but if I have
Hmm.
some, then I don't get carded. I think that's the
Yeah,
funny shit right there.
I used to get carded for scratch offs, and I used to just look at them like, "Are you serious? It's not that serious."
Yeah,
But
like
yeah,
you look, you could pass as younger than me, and I'm 21. So
if I don't have eyeliner on and try to not look a little bit older, I look super super young. So that's why I try to put. I don't really wear makeup, but I try to put eyeliner on so I at least look of age.
yeah,
But and then it
yeah.
doesn't help that I'm like 5'1". I'm tiny, so I really look like a child. So
Are you Latina as well, or
yeah, I'm a mutt. I tell everybody I'm a mutt because I am, but
same here?
primarily Puerto Rican.
I figure Philly got that, that big Puerto Rican background over there. But
Yeah.
hey, I mean Latin genetics, we don't age till we hit like what in our 60s. Then it really catches.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I see my grandparents like it caught up to them, and they're not even in their 60s, just because
Mm-mm.
they
I would
just
say
because they
definitely over that.
just because they drink and smoke a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
it caught up to them like in their mid 50s or so. But
Mm-hmm.
usually it's the 60s it'll catch up to you. So
Oh yeah, it's gonna catch up. It'll eventually catch up, but I'll enjoy it for now.
yeah, I'm enjoying it for now, and then I'm like, fuck, I want to do shit. Everything hurts. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get to that point though. Like I want to still
Yeah.
be old, like up there in age, and still be healthy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I want to be at
I
that.
would say the same, but I don't eat healthy and I don't live a healthy lifestyle, so it's probably definitely not gonna be me.
Yeah, it's hard to eat
Definitely
healthy.
not gonna be me.
Like, what is considered eating healthy for
I
real?
don't know because I think it's bullshit because I've seen so many people that eat healthy and do the exercise thing every day and then
Right.
they go early.
Right.
Something catches up to them.
Well, not only
So
that, but there's all kinds of diets and stuff like that. So it's like, which one is the healthy one?
to me, none of them.
Like,
I'm gonna eat what I want to eat because I have one life to live and I'm gonna enjoy my food.
right. And if you're a Mexican and if you're a vegan, like that's hard. You're living a hard life because we have a lot of chicken and shit in our food. So
That's terrible.
beef and carne and all that shit. So
That's yeah, you
you're
can't
living
do
a
it.
hard life.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I
I,
couldn't do it.
honestly, I feel like my family would make fun of me.
Absolutely,
I feel like they would make fun of me.
absolutely.
I became vegan, to be honest with you.
How would you go to the holiday parties and be like, I'm not eating meat?
Yeah. How am I going to tell my grandma I can't eat that? She's gonna be like,
Yeah,
"The fuck is you
exactly.
talking about? Like I made that. Eat it." But the
Yeah.
broom across the head. You're never
Yep.
too old.
No. Nope.
Shit.
Nope.
But yeah, going back to the whole social aspect of this generation, like, what do you feel like they need to do differently to be better at it?
As far as the people or social media in general?
As far as people being social, like more face to face social.
Mm, it's hard because I feel like even the things in life right now are so geared to social media. So even when you go out and about, everyone's on their phones, everyone's doing, their own thing. No one's really paying attention to anybody anymore. Um, I think if they had more events, I think events got lost as far as people going to like concerts, the movies and stuff like that. That's something that is so rare these days.
Fuck that. I
People are
still
like,
go
I'll
to
just
movies.
watch it at home.
I still go to movies. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I think, and then the thing is too, a lot of the celebrities and stuff, they make it where you can just watch it on TV. You don't have to go to the concerts anymore. So I
You
just
can
think
watch
it
that
needs to
shit on
be
bootlegged
exactly,
movie things. Like,
exactly. So everything you can stream now. You don't have to go out anymore. So that doesn't help.
yeah,
Um, but I think at some point people will start craving the like intimacy of meeting people in real life, because I think a lot of people are lonely. They just don't want to admit it. So they fulfill this idea of meeting people online, but it's really not. And then they feel that like lack of that void because they're not actually meeting people. So when those people die off, or they are not on social media anymore, whatever the case is,
right.
you're left alone. So
So do you feel like that's where like all the dating apps and shit come in for these
I
people?
don't know. I don't do dating apps.
I don't. I
I
never
can't.
did either, but I always.
I don't. I can't. Mm-mm.
I, it's no. I
It's
never did it.
fraudulent to
But
me.
I never
It's
did it.
fraudulent
Like,
to me. No
yeah,
one's gonna go on a dating app and put in their bio that they suck as a human being and that they're terrible in everything that they do. No one's gonna do that. It's all fraudulent. I will never be on a dating. First of all, I will never ever go on something that I have to basically sell myself. I'm
right,
not selling myself in some paragraph of how great I am. And no
right.
one's gonna go on there and say I can't cook, I suck in bed. Like no one is gonna say those things. So
They're gonna hype themselves up. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pointless because you're being fed lies to begin with. So the foundation is already built on lies.
Well, not
So
only
there's no
that, but
point.
not only that, but from what I'm hearing and what I've been hearing from even way back then was the dating apps aren't even used for dating. They're used for meetups. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like
yeah.
they fucked up dating apps. How do you do
Oh
that?
yeah. Oh
How do you
yeah.
how do you fuck up something that's supposed to get you a date? And
Because no one has any actual care for substance in a relationship. No one actually wants it, because then that means that you have to actually put effort and work into a relationship. No one wants to do that. They want all the benefits of the relationship. They want the good that comes from relationship, but they don't want the bad. I was married for almost 12 years. That's a lot of dedication and effort. People won't do that no more. That's never gonna happen again.
I feel like
Sure, shit not gonna happen for me, but
10 years and plus is dedication for a marriage, bro.
it's almost unheard of. Like if you're not over like 40, 50 years old, being married for that long is unheard of. But I was
Right,
very much old school. I was like, you marry, you stick through it, and that's it. Like I'm gonna die with this person. I married this person.
right. So
Um,
that's gonna be a little bit frustrating to see like people your age on the same bullshit.
it's very
It's gonna
frustrating
be frustrating
because
as fuck.
they know better. Like we all know better. But it comes back down to no one wants to be honest. Like if I want to just date and mess around with people, I'm going to tell you from the beginning that
From
that's
the
what I'm going
jump,
to do.
right?
If I want to date you to actually date you to possibly have a relationship with you, I'm going to tell
Yeah,
you that that's my intention from the beginning. But no one wants to say what their intentions are. They just want to kind of mess around and see where it goes, and it's going to go nowhere because there's no substance. But the other thing is too, a lot of people can't deal with confrontation no more. I don't know what happened, but no
that
one can
shit.
deal with confrontation. No one can have an argument. Everyone wants to be like, let me do something, and then if you call me out on it, I'm gonna go run away and hide.
Yeah,
That's not real life.
I mean, not saying
It's not.
arguments are a good thing, but they're unavoidable. Like they're gonna happen. They happen in
You
friendships. They happen all over. They happen in family. Like if they happen in family, they're gonna happen anywhere else. Let's be real.
exactly.
So the fact that people can't take arguments very well is crazy to me.
It's crazy. They shut down.
Either
They
that or
can't handle it
they make it escalate to where it
to
doesn't
something
need.
it doesn't need to be, because they don't know how to communicate. It all comes back down to communication. No one knows how to effectively communicate anymore. It's either one extreme or the other. It's, oh shit, you called me out on something, I'm gonna go run and hide. Or, oh shit, you called me out on something, I'll make it something bigger than it is. So then we
Right.
can just be done with it, because they can't, no one wants to be held accountable.
Yeah.
That's just what it comes down to.
And then the other thing is going to the social media aspect. People people downplay fucking the block button. I'm gonna be real with you. The block button is probably the most magical thing that's ever been added to social media. To be honest with you, you know what I'm saying. If you don't want content, you don't want to fuck with somebody no more. Block.
Yep,
Where they at now? You know what I'm saying.
exactly.
People are like, oh, they're so quick to block and all this other shit. Like they don't like to hear the real shit. Like, what are you talking about? It's that I don't want to. I don't feel the need to give attention or give
No,
energy to.
if it's not worth my energy, it's not happening. I'll just ignore. I won't block. I'll just ignore. Like you just won't hear it. You'll message me, you just won't get anything back, and that's it.
What if they just spam message you? Like they just kept nonstop messaging you.
I don't usually have that happen because I'm pretty direct. So you'll get cursed out, and then you just won't want to talk to me no more. So
Damn, I
I'm
want to
I'm a
call
very
that.
direct person. So I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Like you piss me off, you're gonna know it.
Mm.
Hold
And
on.
that's the Puerto Rican energy right there.
It's very much, but more people need it because there's so many people that
I ain't gonna lie.
seriously
I ain't
they
gonna lie.
they re- they really need it
I ain't
because
gonna.
everyone wants to beat around the bush about everything. It's like stop beating around the bush. But then it's like you'll get called like I've been called many things because no one wants to just accept the fact that I say what I want to say. But I just hold
That's
people
it.
accountable.
People hate when you're a hunt, like when you're a hundred with them.
Exactly.
People think that being 100 with somebody is telling them all the goods, like being 100 about the goods, and that's it. No,
Mm-hmm.
being 100 is going with the goods and the bads and everything, telling you
Very much
everything
so.
good about you and that's bad about you. That's what being
Yep.
100 is. People don't really seem to understand that concept in
And
this
that's in
general.
any form of relationships. I don't even pertain that only to dating or boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife. That's friendships, that's family.
Yeah,
You need to be able to take the constructive criticism so that you can be better. I mean, if I'm sitting here telling you everything that's great about you every single day and telling you that you're the best thing that landed on this earth every single day and never telling you when you're fucking up or when
you
you're
gonna
doing something wrong, that's
yeah,
I'm not helping you because I'm feeding your head to make you think that you're doing absolutely nothing wrong.
right.
It's never the case.
And they're
So
just
even
they're
with
just
friendships.
and they're just letting all the wrong shit slip. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yep. I can't do it. And everyone that knows me very well to know that it will not happen. So it's just is what it
misunderstanding.
is. It's
That's what
very
I.
much so. Very much so.
But
I tell
I like
everybody, I'm like, listen, now that I'm single and I'm dating, you will get me and who I am from the beginning. So yes, I will act how I'm gonna act just the way I will in the relationship because you are not gonna be able to say, oh, you didn't act like that before. You weren't like no, I was. I was from day one.
But see, I feel like we need more of that. We need more, not even just females. We need more people like that in general. We need more people like that.
it's
And
it's a lost trait to just be yourself from the beginning. I've seen so many people dating that will literally date and say, "Oh, I'm not going to say that," or "I'm not going to do that," or "I'm not going to argue with them," even though that's upsetting me
right.
because we're just starting. And I'm like, "Why?" You're setting the tone all fucked up because now when you bring it up later on that you're upset, it's going to come off crazy because you weren't upset about it in the beginning.
And I hate that shit. Like the word dating, like word dating is scary now. Like they got to start with we're in the talking phase. What the fuck
Yeah,
is the talking phase, bro? The
I
talking
don't
phase
get
could
it.
have been just me saying, "What's up? How's your day going?" and then leaving it.
Exactly.
So I guess we're in a talking phase now. We barely know each other. Cool.
Yeah. Yep. It's crazy. They've labeled so many things that don't need labels. Half the shit that they have labels for don't need labels. It's okay. I find you attractive. I like you. Great. Let's go on a date. Let's talk. We'll date. If it doesn't work out, thank you for your time. It's not working out. If it does work out, then you keep on going. But
What happened to that? That's so
it,
simple. What happened to that?
no one finds it simple anymore because it if as soon as they're hit like a rock in the road and something goes wrong, it's like, oh, never mind. I actually don't want to do that. No one can handle the bad that comes with relationships. They don't
Not
want
only
it.
that, not only that, it's the red flags for people. The way
Mm-hmm.
people see what red flags are. Like
Non-existent.
for instance, I've known people, specifically female, that known red flags as homie not being tall enough, homie being the wrong zodiac sign,
I can't do
homie
zodiacs.
not being not homie not having not enough dark skin, homie being too light or not light enough. Like I've heard a lot of stupid shit about red flags, and it's the wrong red flags that they're looking at.
You know, it's funny. I made a video on something like that. It's more of like a funny video of what
Yeah,
my things I'm looking for are. You know, the blue eyes, the country accent. Because I'm honestly just going like complete opposite of what I've ever dated. So it's more like a funny thing. But there's certain red flags obviously that I've thrown in there that are true. Like if you still live with your parents and you're my age, that's a red flag to me.
that's an obvious red
If
flag.
So certain things are red flags. Now, if you're not tall enough, the crazy thing is people really perceive looks to be everything. And I literally just made a video on this and I said, your personality will supersede your looks every single time for me.
I've
People
proven
will
that.
be so shocked at the people that I have dated and they're like, you like that person, like that's who you chose. And I remember even in high school they'd be like, that's who you're dating, because obviously it would be someone that maybe is more attractive that liked me and I'm not giving them no time of day, and I'm over here with the nerd that is sitting in a corner by himself, but the personality was what I was looking for. I can't do where most of the time the reality is if you are super good looking, you're cocky as hell and your personality is trash. That's just what it's become, because you automatically think that because you're good looking that you're just going to get whatever you want. As far as the men that I've known that are like that.
Damn. I,
I'm just being honest. So
you're not wrong.
most of the time, the
You're not
men that
wrong.
I have met that believe that they are the shit and look good, their personalities are trash because they're just assuming that they're going to get whatever they want. Where the
Right.
people that maybe are not looking the best, they're not ugly, but they maybe are not top tier, model, their personality is awesome. So that's usually who I go after. Some people see me like, that's who, how did you get her? And I'm just like, don't do that. I used to hate that in high school. I'm like, don't do that, because no one's perfect.
Right.
And it's just the whole idea that your looks should be everything to you is just crazy, because most of the time those people are trash people.
I call it a delusional mindset. That's what.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that, the only thing I've ever been knocked for was my height. I'm only 5'6", right?
Mm-hmm.
I that's considered short on the male scale. Probably not
Mm-hmm.
like I've had females still be like, no, you're still tall, but no, like there's
You
taller
got to be
dudes.
short like me.
There's taller dudes out there for sure, But that's the only thing I've been knocked for. And those same females that were like, I want a dude that's 6 foot taller, whatever the fuck, dated those same girls. Ended up dating them
Mm-hmm.
that same week. And I would go back to them like, what about the height? Oh, I kind of forgot about all that. So what you're telling me is that never really mattered to you.
No,
And they're like, not really so much right now, trying to sound cute and everything. But it's like, that just
it's
proves that,
superficial.
yeah, that proves that, yeah, it was superficial and it doesn't really matter too much. They just want to make it seem that it matters for some reason, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't really understand that.
I think it's more of a shallowness of trying to basically make it seem like you have some standard that you have to fit. But a lot of women that have standards, if you look at the people they've dated, it's nothing to their standards of what they said that they had. So
Right. Right.
it's more so them just saying something to say it.
I've seen the prettiest females go with like the most thugged out dude, you know,
Exactly.
most thuggy motherfuckers. Like, I don't
Exactly.
understand that either. I never understood that.
You know what?
And those thuggy dudes were my homies and all, but I was like, why? Like,
I
why
think
not?
when it comes to women that date those types of men, it's a lack of self confidence in themselves to feel like that's all that they can get, because they'll say that that's what they want. There's very few women that actually want that, because you know what comes with it. If you're from that type of environment, you know what comes with dating somebody that's like that. So if that's the lifestyle that you're willing to live, by all means, go for it. But if you are really deep down craving somebody that's going to pay attention to you, only you, and not put you in situations that you don't want to be in, then you know damn well not to date someone like that. That's just what it is. So I think a lot of women that go after those types of men are just lacking in their own self-confidence
So
to feel that they deserve better.
so does that, what you're saying is like they're intimidated by the nerd guys, they're intimidated by everybody else but the thuggy type
I
dude?
think they are used to and comfortable with not being treated well. Some women just are comfortable with not being treated well, and to be treated well makes them uncomfortable. And
I
that's
think that's
that's
weird.
scary.
I've heard of that too, and I think that's weird as fuck because I feel like that's natural. Like something that's natural feels weird to you. That doesn't make
Not if you've been
doesn't make
around it long enough. Not if you've been around. Sometimes it's almost like, when you the only thing I can relate it to is if you grew up in like the hood and you're used to the sirens, you're used to the ambulance, you're
any
used to all of that. And then
environment.
you just get transplanted to the suburbs where it's quiet as shit all night, nothing's going on. You feel uncomfortable, even though that's a better situation because it's
Right.
safer. You feel uncomfortable because it's not what you're used to. So if you're used to just shit relationships, that's it's not having someone treat you good. It's going to be almost, you're going to
That
start
would
second guessing everything.
that would make a lot of sense though, actually, because where I lived in Maryland wasn't the best neighborhood, even the surrounding neighborhoods. And a lot of the majority of females that went to my school like that thuggy shit, whatever the case is. But they also cheated a lot. So for me to go into the dating realm, which didn't really happen very often with those females, it would usually go into me thinking that they're gonna cheat, like
Mm-hmm.
already. I'm playing my cards already, like kind of
Yep.
like playing like a board game, like
Yep.
they're making their move, I'm gonna make my move.
Exactly.
I'm gonna catch them cheating before anything type deal.
You go into it with a whole different mindset because you're already defensive.
Yeah, I've been on
So
the defensive. Yeah, yeah,
that's just what it comes down to. A lot of times, especially if you're in already bad relationships, you're going into your next relationship already expecting the worst. So when things are not going bad, you're
I
starting
ain't,
to question what the hell's going on because it's just not what you're used to.
I
And
ain't gonna
that's
lie,
just what it comes down to.
and that's fucked up a lot of. I ain't gonna lie, that's fucked up a lot of potentially good relationships because I can't really say if it was gonna be good or bad just because it
Mm-hmm.
got fucked up too early because I was already in that defensive mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And that's
100%.
the fuck up on my part. You know what I'm saying? But for those that just like to go around and cheating and stuff, that should
Mm-hmm.
show you you're also fucking up a lot of potential
Mm-hmm.
relationships too. You're fucking up people that aren't on the defensive yet, and
Exactly.
you're causing them to go on the defensive.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's terrible because like even after my separation, there may have been people that I liked, but I'm instantly assuming the worst of what's going to come from them. So I'm not even allowing myself to enjoy them fully because I may enjoy them as who they are, but I'm already assuming that once things get good, something bad's going to happen. So I
Right,
think a lot of people that hurt other people, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally, don't actually realize that that carries on
right.
after we're done with them.
I just feel like
Um,
for me, like if something's going really smooth, I'm kind of like already like this is a too good to be true type of moment. So
yeah.
let me be more wary of what's
A
going
little
on.
bit cautious of what's going on,
Yeah,
which
and
is
I
sad because you know how many people don't live like that. You know how many people like are in those happy ass relationships that don't think anything of it. They don't second guess anything. They're just living it day by day and just living
for
their
us that
life.
was the rich Caucasian people.
Yeah,
We had those types of the motherfucker that wore the boat
yeah.
shoe. Yeah, it was that
It
they
was
had.
them. Yeah, and they're
It was
just living their
them.
life. I don't. I wish I knew what that was like. It's sad, but
Honestly, it's funny to say. I feel like Caucasian people have more healthy relationships than any of us.
I would think that. But I've met a couple that they're slick. They're slick. They
Really?
make it look like things are okay. It's not okay.
They must be slick as fuck then, because for the ones I know, I don't see shit wrong. Like I'm like,
But you
damn.
know what it is too? The women are raised differently. And this is not to come against anybody of any race, but the women are raised differently to not automatically, like if you grew up in a household where your parents were like married for forever, you had that picture perfect family and everything's good, you're not
Yeah,
going into relationships expecting things to be bad. You're going into it thinking you're going to have the same relationship your parents had. If
yeah.
you grew up in a household with a broken family or your dad's cheating on your mom or
This is
whatever the
awesome.
case is,
Yeah,
that's what you learned growing up. So that's what you know that people can do. That's what you expect that people are capable of doing. So then you're always on high alert. Where I
yeah,
think some of these other people that grew up differently in different environments, they have that's like taboo to them. It's like, what do you mean that this person's going to cheat on me? Absolutely not. We're married. They just don't have that background.
I like that you added that. The influence. Yeah, the influence has more power than anybody thinks. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of my influence came from a lot of like older cousins and shit like that. So
Oh
they were
yeah.
all about like, get the female, get the female.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of had that mindset a lot.
Oh
I
yeah.
I kind of still do, but I kind of try to calm down a little bit.
I think it's harder for men that are growing up in certain environments and situations because you do get pushed to basically get as many women as you can. That's the goal. You're not meant to settle down, especially young. You're supposed to be having fun. So I think that mentality really sticks with you. And a lot of families don't realize that when you're pushing that agenda on younger kids or younger teens
They don't think
of
that's okay type deal.
you
And
don't you don't appreciate it when you're older.
that's where the rosters came in.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
exactly where the rosters came in because of that, because of the influence.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame. It's a shame. I really don't think people are going to be having as serious relationships in the future. One, women are very different. They're not the whole loyal to the death of them type of thing. It's like you fuck up, okay, we're done. or they have someone on the side that they're ready to go run to, so it's not really affecting them the way it would have before.
Yeah.
um Women are trying to have very much that whole like man mentality these days, where it's like, if
I was
you
gonna
can
say
do it,
because
I can do it.
I peeped a little bit of like the little beginning of your podcast thing, and you're talking about how a lot of females have, some of them have this masculine energy, and some of them have a feminine energy.
Hmm.
So it's like, how can you balance that? It's a little
It's really
different.
difficult,
A little
because
different.
if you have too much feminine energy, then it gets taken advantage of. But if you have too much masculine energy, then you're looked at differently. So
Right.
I think that there's a healthy balance, but I think a lot of women are taking it to an extreme of, I'm gonna do what you do, or I'm gonna do what my ex did to me. And if my ex was cheating and doing all this stuff, I'm not gonna treat a man right because I can do the same thing. Which obviously, like, obviously anybody can cheat. Anybody can have multiple people if they wanted to. It's really not that difficult to do. It's just what's more important to you, holding that relationship and trust,
Right.
or having your cake and eat it too. And I think a lot of people are just really selfish. They don't want to. They like having the options, because if one messes up, they have another one. If one gets on their nerves, they have another one.
Which, isn't that
So,
crazy how that's gone to that? Like the safe thing to do is have another option.
hmm, I
Wouldn't you
saw a
say?
meme that said, if you,
Wouldn't
it said something like, imagine being how you're being treated by one. Imagine if you had three. And I was like, so we're just putting that out now. That's what we're doing.
no, but it's like, just imagine, like, or not even imagine that, because that's the real shit. But you have, like, that's the safe thing to do nowadays, is have another
Hmm.
option.
A backup.
When the fuck, yeah, when the fuck did having a backup QB come in effect? Like,
You
why
just
is
keep
that?
them in your back pocket, apparently.
Like, I get it. Like, it's bad to it's bad to assume that everything's gonna be smooth. But let's be real. No relationship, no friendship, no any type of relationship is gonna be smooth. It's
Mm-mm.
not gonna be smooth sailing. And like you said, people see the moment of bad when it doesn't get so smooth, and run the other way and dip
Hmm.
and do whatever the fuck they gotta do. That's fucked up. And that's what we see nowadays. And that's why
That's
we
why
see.
there's never going to be anything. There's never going to be a such thing as a serious relationship, because no one can handle the bad that comes with it. The instant reaction is to run away from it.
I've known
I've
people
been
that
through
have
the
broken
worst
up.
of the worst,
I've known
so
people.
there's
I've known
nothing
people.
that can phase me.
I've known people that have broken up over one petty argument.
Hmm.
One petty argument
Yep.
over who's cleaning what.
Oh yeah.
Like, that shit
Yep.
is crazy as fuck. That's an argument you have probably with your parents, and even
Hmm.
then, it's like, you're not gonna win that argument because you're gonna end up doing it at the end of the fucking day. So
The relationship status is not serious. It just, no one takes it serious. So to them, it's just like, well, if you mess up, I'll find another one, and they can. So it's just, it's not the
here's my
same.
thing though.
Dating will never be the same.
Here's my thing though. They're going and finding these other ones, but they're not finding the right ones, and they're wondering
Mm-mm.
why they're not finding the right ones. Well, that's why,
Mm-hmm.
because you're out
Yeah.
here seeking the replacements. And what are the replacements? The thuggy motherfuckers, the bad motherfuckers, possibly the ugly motherfuckers.
Yeah. But
Depends.
the thing is too, they're basically looking for a perfect person that doesn't exist. So as soon as they have good qualities, they're enjoying those good qualities. And as soon as one bad quality comes, it's like, oh, I don't like that. I'm gonna go find someone that doesn't have that quality. But then they have other bad qualities. So you're constantly on a
Right.
chase for something that doesn't exist.
So wouldn't you agree that if they just stopped seeking it and focused on their own purpose and let
Mm-hmm.
everything fall into place, they're gonna find that right one? Would you agree with me
Yeah.
with that?
Or if you just simply worked on the person that you like. If you find somebody that you find attractive and like, and you like their personality and you like a lot, majority of the traits about them, everyone's going to have pros and cons. That's just
That's
going to
the
be
way of
what it
life.
is. If you come across a con and you just work through it, you still have the person that you originally liked. It's just as soon as you start feeling like you don't like that person, then you want to go find someone else. It
Right.
doesn't, that's not real life. That's never going to work. It's never, you're going to be lonely for the rest of your life.
Right. But they see one con and out they go.
Yep.
One
And
red
the
flag
thing is
and
too,
out
no
they
one cares about body counts anymore, which is weird to me. Like back, I'm old as shit, but back in the day, body counts
go.
was not, that wasn't cute. That wasn't, you didn't want to have a high body count. Like that was something, one, that you kept to your damn self, and two, it
Right.
wasn't supposed to be in like double digits. That wasn't cute. Now
I like
it's
how you brought that up because I saw going back to TikTok. I saw a funny TikTok of this dude who like trolls sports fans, whatever. Like he'll wear the opposite team, and he
hmm
told a female, he's like, just because you got 10 bodies doesn't make you a 10. I was like, that's
it's
just kind of fucked up, but that's funny. But no, no, no. Like going back to body count, yeah, you said they don't matter, but yet a lot of times I've been asked like what my body count is. Like that's
I'm
one of the
sure.
first questions. Like it's the zodiac sign probably first, and
I
then the
don't
body.
get that. That's stupid. I'm sorry. The zodiac
I
sign doesn't,
know.
and it
What is
doesn't make any sense. You know how many Pisces I know that are like literally born the same day or not the day before me, and we are
but don't
we are
act
not
like
the
you right.
same. We are
Exactly.
not the same.
So where does this zodiac sign shit really come in? Because I've done a
I
bunch of
think it's made up. I think it's made up just so that you can have an excuse to not like somebody if you don't like them.
it really I don't know, that's just one of my triggers, like when people are judging other people solely based off of the time and
It's
day they
crazy.
were born,
It's crazy.
which they have no control over,
It's crazy.
and judge them based off of that.
I wasn't even supposed to be a Pisces. I was born 3 weeks early. So am I going off of when I was actually born or when my due date was? Because I
Right,
don't match Pisces at all. I know
right.
people that are Pisces that are the complete opposite of me. So this whole
I'm a,
zodiac sign thing is just it's just dumb.
I'm an Aquarius, and I know none of the traits because I don't really care for it. But when people ask me, I say I'm an Aquarium because I think it's fucking stupid. Straight up. I've actually been told, like, people will ask me my zodiac sign. Females will ask me my zodiac sign, and I'll be like, Aquarium, whatever the fuck. Oh, Aquarius, you're this and that. I can't talk to you because of my. Okay.
I
Yeah,
literally had a live one time and they were like, "Oh, what sign are you?" And I was like, "Oh, it says I'm a Pisces." And they're like, "Oh, you're crazy." Yeah, but it doesn't matter that I'm a Pisces. You know how many crazy signs are out there? I'm a woman. I'm crazy because I'm a woman, not because I'm a Pisces. Doesn't make any damn sense.
hey, Latinos bring it to a new level. Kind of like it, though. Real
Most,
talk.
you know what though? I
Real talk.
no, because most men do, and then they do it on purpose. It's not fun. It's not fun because every time you guys do that, it's like, oh, I'm pissing you off because I think it's cute. Don't do that because then when it backfires
Don't
and
I
then
get
we're
a pass?
actually pissed off.
Don't I get a pass as a Latino because I already know?
No, because it's not right. You guys fuck with us on purpose because you think it's cute
But like, let me see
until we
that
actually get mean
attitude.
mean.
I go
And then when
lie
we
to
get
it.
mean, then it's like, oh, you didn't have to say that. Well,
Right. Yeah, yeah, like, you didn't have to go that far. I ain't gonna lie.
exactly.
Then that person,
Exactly.
like,
But I hear that
go up
all the
on
time.
there.
Like, oh, I like your feistiness. No, you don't. No, you don't. You think you do. You don't.
I'm gonna tell you this. My first ever, I guess you could say, it. I still consider it puppy love just because I was young, still learning what the fuck love was. But it was the one that affected me. I feel like the most as a person. I was with a Puerto Rican shorty. I had to deal with the attitude, the whole mix match, everything, right? And it was funny when she told me if I ever cheated, she was gonna chop my dick off. And I was
Well,
like,
that
that's
will,
pretty fucking crazy. But I was like, that's pretty crazy, but I kind of saw that coming, right? But she ended up cheating like 3 times, and again, I was like young, innocent teenager, and I was like, damn, she cheated. I took her back the 2 times, and then the third time, I kind of woke up and I was like, bro, fuck this shit. Like, I'm getting played over here, and
yeah, you are.
that's when I really woke up and was like, I need to get on the right track, and that's when I was on my shit for a little bit, and yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
I feel
mean,
like
I
that
think
was
every woman has the streak in them. I think for some reason us Hispanics have it a little bit more than the typical.
right,
Um, but if I didn't though, and I was super timid, then that gets taken advantage of too. So there has to be a healthy balance. I think women have to understand that because there's some women that'll be like, I'm not going to be feisty, attitudinal, or anything at all because I don't want to make them scared because men don't like crazy women. I don't believe in that at all because then you're getting taken advantage of.
right,
Then you're holding back your actual true emotions because you don't want the confrontation. You don't want to come off as crazy. You don't want to come off as anything that they may look at as bad, but you actually are just holding back your own feelings. If you're mad about something, say it.
right.
We're either going to get through it or we're not. But
I
if
just
I'm upset about something, you're going to hear it.
exactly. I just feel like overall, even though it was a bad relationship, but probably my longest for a while, I still learned a lot. Like there was still a learning experience from it. So I kind of took that as a learning experience and went on with my day after that. But
You
yeah,
have to find the right person. You really have to find the right person, and there's unfortunately a lack of women and men that hold any substance to an actual relationship. So you have to almost find someone that's still old school.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but you have to find someone that's old school if you're looking for something more serious. If you're looking for just playing games and having fun, they're everywhere.
So
Enjoy.
what a lot of dudes in this day and age have done was go to other countries to find wives. Yeah. Because so their reasoning behind that was they're finding people, or they're finding wives that will take care of them, cook for them, take care of the house, all that shit, like, like the old fashioned shit,
Mm-hmm.
while they work, you know. And by personal experience, I went to Puerto Rico for like a week, and already I found that one, I fit in there because I kind of looked the part,
Mm-hmm.
and two, I got along with everybody that was there. I feel like the whole interaction, the way people talk face to face still, I fucked with that. I fucked with the whole lifestyle there. And then
Mm-hmm.
coming back to the States, coming back to people on their phone, not so much people talking face to face, I was like, bro, this is not
It's
it.
not the same.
I feel like other countries are just doing it better than we are, social wise.
I'm sure.
Technology wise, cool, we can have that. China can have
Mm-hmm.
that, whatever. But other countries that are, still doing the face to face shit, they have it better. I see more healthy relationships over there than I did here.
You know why? Because no one actually enjoys quality time. No one sees a benefit of quality time.
Over there, they do.
Oh
over
yeah.
over in these other countries, they do. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
But here, for
Everyone's
some
too
reason,
busy for each other. No one wants to actually fit in time for physical interaction. It's
right,
always they're too busy, they're too busy. It's not that they're too busy, they just don't want to.
right.
They
And
just
that's
don't
what's
want to.
funny is like, minus the whole dating thing. Like, even when I'm like getting, going promoting, getting guests on for the podcast, I've had guests say that they were busy and all this other shit, but posting on their story of shit.
Hmm.
And I'm like, right, busy.
I can't stand people that act like they're busy and then like I have so many pet peeves now ever since I've become single. I'm making a list because I can't stand when someone is like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't message you back because I was busy." But then I see you looking at my stuff. Don't look at my stuff.
Right.
Skip over my story.
If you're busy, you're not gonna watch my stories, and you're not gonna post on your
Exactly.
story if you're busy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I can't stand that. Like, do not, first of all, everyone's on their phone. Everyone texts. That's just what they do. Do not tell me that you could not text me back, but then you look at my story.
Right.
Don't do that.
So I got something
Don't
for
do
you,
that.
right? So the next person that tells both of us that, we just gotta say define busy. We gotta ask
Yeah.
define busy straight up. And
You find time for what you want to find time. That is 100% the case. If you want to do something, you will do it. If you don't want
exactly,
to do it, you're not going to do it.
exactly. And as a content creator, that's what I took it as, because I take this
Mhm.
shit as seriously as it is. So it's like, if they're giving me that bullshit, they're not
There's
down.
no such thing as too busy. You make time for what you want to do. There's just
Exactly,
no such thing. So
exactly.
I call bullshit on it all because and then it's like that whole ghosting thing. That's probably the most dumbest shit I've ever
That
experienced
shit
or
is
seen in my life.
immature.
Very
That's a
immature.
good way to describe exactly that, is immature.
Extremely immature.
Ghosting, you can't be straight up and say, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might sound hurtful, but like, you're being straight up.
I never will understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. If you are literally speaking to someone with the intent of trying to date them or you like them or whatever the case is, and then you just stop saying anything and that person's trying to message you and you're just ignoring their text, but then you're still looking at all their, I can't. You will get cursed out. It's
See, I'm glad.
happened.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. Like, I'm looking at it as a podcast perspective. I'm glad I'm not the only one that
That's
sees
just
that
annoying.
as bullshit. Like, that shit is
That's
stupid as fuck.
it does because then they want you to believe it. That's what fucks me up is they want you to actually believe that they just didn't message you for some stupid ass reason. No, you
Right,
were ignoring me because you were ignoring me. Just say what it is. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
right.
But no one wants to be direct. Everyone's scared to hurt each other's feelings. It's just, they'd rather just not say anything at all than have a conversation because they can't take any self criticism. I've told many people, like, you are a shit communicator. Don't tell me you're a bad texter. That's bullshit. It's an excuse. There's no such thing. There's no
Yeah,
such thing because if you can text me back and forth for the first like 2 weeks
yeah,
because you're trying to
yeah,
pursue something,
yeah.
you're not a bad texter. You just
I'm
decide you
glad you
don't want
said
to
that.
text anymore.
There's no such thing as a bad texter. If you know how to text, you're not a bad texter.
You're not a bad texter.
You're just a shitty communicator.
Exactly. Exactly. When things start going off or you start
Because
being called out on stuff, then you don't want to text. That's not
And
a
I was gonna
bad
say, because
texter.
I bet you if you force them to go into a face-to-face interaction, shit would be different. It'd be a whole
Sure
different
would.
interaction, whole
It
different.
sure would.
They
But
wouldn't say I'm too
unfortunately,
busy.
now you can just ignore text. So you don't have to deal with the confrontation.
And there's a magic block button you can use. I recommend it.
I've
Hold
realized
you
with
sleep.
2024, I have decided that I'm not going to try to convince people of why they are the way they are. I'm just going to let them be the way that they are. And then you're just not going to have access to me at all because I can't do it. I
See,
can't do it.
I feel like we've been doing that for too long now.
Mm-mm.
It's we we started that shit a long time ago, saying like we're gonna let them do their thing. It is now 2024 and shit hasn't changed. It's gotten worse.
It has
So
gotten worse, but I'm new to it. I've been married, so I'm new to this whole talking to other people,
right,
and engaging with the other species. This is all new to me. So
right,
now that I see, I've let it ride out. This past year, I've let it ride out to see what's going on, and it's not for me. So,
right. It's not.
mm-mm.
I mean, like we could always hope that 2025 could be pretty good, but I don't
Probably
see.
not.
I don't. Yeah, I don't see
Probably
that.
not
I see it
because
being
it's only going to get worse. People don't
right.
speak to each other.
I see it being a worse. I see it being a worse version of now.
Yeah.
Every year is going to be a worse version of what it was before.
People are going to feel as though arguing is something that shouldn't happen, that you're not supposed to have any confrontation, you're not supposed to have any communication of things that are bad, you're not supposed to talk about things that upset you. That's terrible.
I just can't wait for the zodiac sign and the hype bullshit to die
The
down.
zodiac sign stuff is crazy to me. I can't.
No, I
I
can't wait
can't
for
do
it to
it.
die down. For it to be like for them to come into realization one day and be like, "This was kind of stupid. Like, why did I judge so many people up for this shit?"
I
Or
can't believe people actually
God,
judge it solely off of that.
or why did I diss so many dudes because they weren't 6 foot and taller? Like, I can't wait for that day. I really can't.
Yeah, that doesn't. But you know what? I think that shows a lot of immaturity. And I think depending on who you are, if you're not at the point where you're just trying to play games, then it's like you need to start looking into women that don't have that same mindset, which is typically going to be older women. But everyone, acts like people in their 30s are out of, that's like out of their realm, but 30s
No,
are prime years.
I'm
30s are
21.
prime years.
I'm 21, and I could tell you, nah, it's not. 30
30s are prime years. A lot of people do not realize that. And I'm saying this for men and women because it's a double dose. Younger
is
men,
probably, 30s is probably the way to go. But if they're on the same type of bullshit that the younger generation is,
well, you can't have 30s that are trying to fit in. That's the problem. You have to have 30s that are already settled in their life. They already been through some shit.
trying to
They
fit
don't
in.
have time for the games. You can't you
They're trying to
can't have
fit
like a 30 that wants to be a 20. It's not gonna work. But for men, like I've realized younger men, too immature. If I go any
in.
older,
Define younger.
If I go any older, no, I'm not talking. Anyway, if I go younger, they're too immature. If I go older, they're hitting fucking midlife crises and they're acting like they're 20. So I'm stuck. I don't. I should have
You are stuck in the
reconsidered.
middle. You are
I
stuck in the
should have
middle.
reconsidered my options because I'm literally stuck between like a block of 5 years, and this shit fucking sucks because I can't
You are
go
stuck.
older because
But
then they're
I
out
feel
there
like,
fucking riding in convertibles and wanting 5 women because they want to feel 21 again.
right.
And I
I
can't
feel
go
like,
younger because they have no life experience.
but I feel like being stuck in the middle where you're at is better than being stuck in it. You know what I'm saying? Like me, the way I grew up old school as well. So I don't. That's why I feel like I don't really fit into this generation at all, and why I'm talking about it with you right now today. But with that being said, I don't know. I just feel like with me being stuck in it, I'm kind of like I see it everywhere I go. Versus you stuck in the middle, like you can kind of still
Oh,
see
I pick and
options from us
choose.
older, huh? Yeah, you can still pick and choose, but as for me, like not so much. And like you said, like the younger men are immature, which I want to know what like define younger.
20s, all 20s, all 20s are immature.
So
Can't do it.
I give you immature vibes.
Not necessarily,
Okay.
but that's at face value right now. That's a to be determined.
To be determined.
To be determined, because anyone else that I've even communicated with that are in their late 20s, they start off strong and then they dip off because they're just, the immaturity is there. It's
They
just
start
I
off
can't,
strong. They start off strong, then they get sniped.
I can't do it. And I'm not one to say I can't do
Damn.
it. I'm too outspoken. Like I will tell you,
I don't
you're
blame you.
immature. I
I don't
can't do
blame you.
it.
I'm probably one of the small few younger people that you're ever gonna meet that seems out of out of place in this generation. To be honest with you.
But even when I was in my 20s, I'll be called like an old soul. It's just always been my thing. I've never fit into my age range. It's just I've always had older friends. I've never
Right.
fit
Me too.
into the people that were my age because one, I had my son young, so I started early.
Yeah.
So I already had to basically grow up super young. So I
Right.
never fit in. While everyone was out clubbing, I'm home with my child. So I
I
never
think
fit in.
I think for me it was just me having younger siblings, and when I mean by younger, like way younger, like I could be an uncle type shit.
Oh, that
Yeah,
happens. We're
I think that
Spanish.
helped. Yeah, so I had, like you said, I had like just like you, I had a lot of older friends too, type of deal. I had some that were my age, but the ones that were my age were kind of just still in an immature mindset, and
Hmm.
I don't know, I still kind of felt out of place, type of deal.
Yeah, it's all about maturity. A lot of people just don't realize that. It's being direct, being mature.
But
If you, if
I realized early that communication was key to every fucking thing,
Oh yeah, oh
and
yeah,
a lot of people don't realize that, and I say it every single fucking episode that communication is the key to everything,
hmm,
literally everything.
good and the bad.
You know what I'm saying? An unspoken fucking voice is not going to be heard. So,
No, no, and it's crazy because it's just like people. Like I was saying in my last episode of my podcast,
right.
people will apply for a position in your life and then fuck it up. They came in with all the qualifications and then didn't perform and think that they're not supposed to be fired. It's like a job. If you apply
Like
for
you
a
said,
job and you say, I'm so good at this, and your resume looks amazing, and you apply for this job, and that person says, you know, we're going to hire you for this position. And then you start and you fuck up everything and you do nothing that your resume said you could do, your ass is going to get fired. That's just what's going to happen. Life is no
HR.
different.
Like you said,
Life is no different.
like you said on your
That's
story, HR.
the HR department's still the same. This new year, new me shit didn't change anything. The HR department's still the same. So if you apply to be a part of my life and then the qualifications and what you're doing are not matching, this whole like actions and words are not matching, you're eventually going to get fired. I might write you up like 3 times, but you're going to
For
get
real.
fired eventually.
What's funny
So
is I posted on my story like that I was saying I don't want to hear that new year, new me bullshit. And then I see that you posted that, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm not the only
because
one that's
it's
on this
it's
shit."
it's too much. It's too much. It only applies to certain situations. Like some people try to come out on January 1st and apply that to their whole entire life. You can't do that.
Yeah, like they're trying
You
to
can't do
change,
that.
but it was funny. It's like they're trying to change, but then they come out the same fucking person they was.
Exactly. Because
Yeah,
it's not,
I,
it's good to have a clean slate to better yourself. It's not meant, you're not supposed to become a whole different person. You're supposed to just better yourself and look
right,
forward to a new year of
right,
maybe not having some of the bad habits you had last year.
right.
That's the whole basis. Some people want to take
They're
it to an
trying to
extreme
change
and
their
be like,
whole.
I'm going to be this whole no, you can't do that. What's wrong with you?
It's not how this shit works.
It's not real life. A lot of people live in a fantasy world. That's the problem these days. Social media has allowed people to live in a fantasy world, and it just, the
Mm,
actions don't match words. The whole idea of actions speak louder than words, that doesn't exist anymore. No one cares if their actions match their words. They don't care if they keep promises. It's just it's all been lost in the sauce somehow, and no one gives a shit. They just move on to the next person.
right. All I could say is, me and U.S. content creators. Hopefully, social media gets better for us. But as far as social media goes, for socializing with people, I don't know about that. I don't think it's gonna get better for y'all.
No, I've
It's
already
probably,
accepted that I'm going to be single for the rest of my life with my cats, and that's it. I've already
but I feel like
accepted
that's
that fate.
but I feel like that's fine because like, you already have your kids. So I feel like for now, like you can just focus on your kids and then let that be that. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
But if you didn't have kids, then it's like, fuck.
yeah. Then my
How you gonna
time
spread that
clock is
tree?
ticking.
How you gonna
Yeah,
spread the seed of the tree? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
but I think you're doing good.
I'm doing just
Very
fine.
well, very well.
I'm doing just fine.
Absolutely. We're about at that hour mark though, but
Absolutely.
before we end it off, we have a little Q&A to answer like
Sure.
5 questions. I apologize in advance if some of these questions are weird. I I copy paste them and put them on a little post Q&A, and then
If there's
that's
something crazy, don't I can't answer everything crazy. I do have like a real job.
I
Don't
got
be
you.
don't be asking me nothing crazy.
I don't know if their job watches me though. Who,
That's true.
who knows?
Go for it.
All right, let's see. Oh, all right. I just clicked random.
Let's see. What are 3 words to describe the host? Charismatic,
That
intelligent. I can tell you're very intelligent and personable.
I appreciate that. I don't really feel too intelligent, like when it comes to like school shit, like math. I cannot.
Not everyone has to be book smart.
I'm like
That doesn't
I don't say I'm more street smart than book smart type
I
deal.
figured.
Yeah. All right. Vejito.
So what?
Yeah, little vejito. Like
What's that?
vellitos. I'm gonna say from my understanding, because I have some Colombian homies. That sounds like a Colombian word. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm not Colombian.
I'm not either. Um, we gonna skip that.
Okay.
Yeah, we gonna skip that. I like this question because I've been bringing this
Why
up
to
a lot.
say
Have a,
I don't think it so much matters as much as it just depends on what you're looking for in a man. Like obviously, if you I'm 5'1", so really most men are going to be taller than me, so it's not a big deal. But I can see if I was tall shit, I was like 5'7", 5'9", and then I'm dating someone that's smaller than me, I can kind of see where it may become an issue only because as a woman, you typically want to feel like that protected by a man.
I
So
got an argument for that.
if
I got,
you're tall
got an argument for that.
and you're dating someone that's super short, you may not feel that same protection.
I got an argument for that. So
Go for it.
feeling protected, right? I feel like you can feel very much protected if you're cuddling. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily have to be standing to feel protected. Like if you're
It's
just
true.
laying down on the couch, laying down in bed, you're cuddling up. I feel like right there, height doesn't really have a play into
True.
that. So like you could very well feel just as much protected.
True. But as a woman,
Fuck the heels.
any any woman that doesn't want to admit it, you typically want to feel like you're more of the feminine, smaller side. So if you're 5'9", you're dating someone that's 5'5", that's the man that you're supposed to be feeling like that comfort from and that protection from, that may throw it off. Thankfully for me,
but,
I'm 5'1", so anybody's taller than me.
but see, I
So it
feel
doesn't
like
apply to me.
But see, that's why I feel like height shouldn't be the thing for masculinity or femininity, if that makes sense. Because
I get that.
I feel like a dude that's 5'5", beefed the fuck out, or like knows how to fight and shit, can protect his woman however tall she is, no matter what type deal.
A 100%. And I'm not saying fighting wise. I'm saying naturally as a woman male dynamic. Some women like to feel more feminine, more smaller. So if the woman is feeling bigger against her man, it may take away from her feeling more feminine
I got you.
because she's
Okay.
bigger than her man. I'm not saying fighting. I know many smaller men that can fight very well.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not saying
yeah,
that. I'm just saying more so as genetically and just naturally, women
yeah.
want to feel small. They want to feel coddled. So if the man is smaller and the woman's much bigger, I can see how that can be an issue, but not saying that it should be.
I just feel like in those situations, if the dude, and I'm speaking from personal experience, if the dude doesn't make an issue out of it, then she's not gonna make an issue out of it.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot that comes with confidence.
Right.
A lot that
If
comes
the
with
dude,
confidence.
yeah, if the dude is confident and he's like, I don't give a fuck if I'm short. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can still protect you. I can still, give you all your needs type deal.
Mm-hmm.
She's not gonna worry about his height. That's gonna be the least of
No,
the matters, to be honest with you. So
very much so.
yeah. So yeah, that's why height matters now. Jeez.
Whoa.
Happy New Year.
How would you cover your whole face? What?
Goofy challenge for the kids.
How would you cover your whole face with both your hands without covering your eyes? I have I have no idea. With both my hands without covering my eyes?
Did it say? Yeah, with both hands without covering your eyes.
Then I'm not covering my whole face.
I think what they're there's interesting
Ding.
people on here. I think what they're asking is like, how would you cover it like around the eyes type shit, like everything but the eyes.
With my hands?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what they're asking here.
No. Mm-mm. It says cover your whole face.
Yeah, like how would you? Okay, like how would you cover your face with both?
Without covering your eyes?
Yeah,
You would have to go like that.
I guess that's how you do
That's
it.
the only way that you would be able to do that. Unless I'm missing something. Unless there's an indirect in there that I'm missing.
Yeah, let's. I'm missing something too. Because the other way I thought of was like if you covered your whole face and then like peeked. I guess you could do that. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't even think that's a question. That was more of a challenge.
Yeah. The fuck. Like I said, I just click random. There's a lot of creative people watching. I, I,
I
I,
won't blame you.
I don't know.
Where do I see myself in 10 years from now? I'm
Yeah,
gonna be old as shit. Um, I'm gonna say in 10 years, I probably will be hopefully an attorney by then. I'm going to school now for it, so hopefully an attorney. Um, my kids will all be older, so I'm gonna be wilding out because I will be finally able to be free of being a mom 24/7 because all my kids will be old
define
enough.
define wilding out.
Actually going out, socializing, doing things I want to do, being able to go on vacations and not have my children that I have to do kid things with and just be able to, do zip lines and all types of crazy adventurous shit I want to do.
Have you ever been to Puerto Rico?
I have. I
Did you
rode
love it?
horses
I
on
loved
the
it.
beach there and it started downpouring. That wasn't the best,
I loved it.
but
That
it's
was
beautiful.
fun.
It's beautiful.
I felt very welcome there, and it could be because I look like a lot of them do, but I just felt very welcomed over there. That's all
But
I
I
can
think they always are like that though. I think Spanish people in general are very, very
say.
not not all of them. I'm
Not
saying
in
in
Mexico.
Puerto Rico, they're very
Not in Mexico.
very,
They
very welcoming.
There's a reason a lot of my family members don't go back to Mexico.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'll rephrase. Puerto Rico is very, very humble and very
I went
caring
to the
towards their
bad
guests.
neighborhood. I went to the bad neighborhoods and got accepted in there. I was like,
I'm
shit.
telling you. But you can't go to the tourist spots though, because then you're not really going to Puerto Rico if you go to like the touristy spots.
Are you considering San Juan a tourist spot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wouldn't consider La Perla a tourist spot though. San Juan, yes, but La
San
Perla,
Juan has become very touristy.
San Juan, yeah. But
Yeah.
La Perla, the area where you go down the stairs and it's, that whole little village there, tourists do not go down there.
No, there's certain areas that they'll tell tourists like, mm-mm, stay away. If you
They
see
said,
the cows tied up to the trees, don't go there.
they said don't go down there, but I followed some females down there,
Of course you
and
did.
that's how that happened. Well, they wanted to smoke, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right,
Hmm.
I'm on vacation, fuck it, it is what it is, type deal.
I mean, you made it out alive, so it's okay.
Yeah, and that's the last question. By the way, what is this?
How would you imitate this emoji and what does it mean? Um,
What does that emoji mean? Actually, that's like one of those newer ones I don't really know too much
I
about.
consider that like hiding, like you're scared to say something. So you're like hiding behind your hands because you're
Right,
scared to say
like you're
something.
shy or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Like cowardly.
Yeah. What is that? How? So yeah, how would you imitate it? I
That's
guess.
the same damn thing I just did on the other one. Basically, you just
The,
like are hiding behind your hands. That emoji is basically used when you say something that you really didn't want to say and you're scared of what the response will be.
when I first saw that, I thought people were gonna use that for like a scared emoji. Like if they're watching a horror movie and they're like,
Mm,
"I'm watching this horror movie, whatever the fuck," and then they put that emoji on there. But then people
no,
changed it to being sexual. Welcome to this generation. What's
can't
under
they
your
can't have
shirt?
anything nice.
Yeah, then what's under your shirt? And then they put that emoji. You know, type shit.
That must be your generation. We don't do that over here.
Hey, I don't claim. I may come from the generation, but I don't claim it. It's not me. As you can see, look, as you can see, this is not me. I'm a little different, right?
Mm, if you say so.
Would you say I am? Just like this generation?
I don't know you.
I'm saying like based off what you got to know.
I think for what? How old did you say you were? 21.
21. About to be 22 this month, actually. Yeah.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Um, I would say that you're more mature than the typical 21, almost 22-year old, from
Appreciate
what
it.
I can tell.
I was forced to go up early. Same
That sucks.
same
Yeah.
situation as you, just younger siblings. So I felt like I was
Hmm.
taking care of like my own kid, but it was my sibling type deal.
That will grow you up quick.
Yeah, and it lets you know
Unfortunately.
you don't want to have kids too fucking early. And that's what happens a lot in this generation too. Is a lot of people having kids too damn early.
Hmm.
How many ba-
But they're having kids early and they're not actually taking care of them. There's a difference.
how many baby mamas have you seen recently, or like seen on social media, whatever the fuck, just seen in general?
Not many, because you know what? I've been realizing a lot of people are getting pregnant in their 30s now, which is crazy to me. I would never restart. But
What? I seen it. I've seen people
I
my age getting pregnant left and right.
really I haven't seen it
Yeah.
as much. I haven't
See,
seen it as much.
I've seen people from school getting pregnant and shit. I'm like, damn.
But there's
That's
a difference
crazy.
though. Some people will get pregnant and have kids, and then their mom's taking care of the kids. It's not the same.
Yeah, that's. I feel like that's fucked up for the mom. Like
It
for
sure
real.
is. It sure is. I tell my kids all the time, you will take care of your child. Do not get pregnant early and think
Yeah,
that
my
that's going to be coming over here.
yeah, my parents told me the same shit. They also told me that I had to be at the house at 18, and sure enough, I did.
That's very old school though. A lot of people are
Yeah.
not out the
Well,
house at 18 anymore.
if you realize though, a lot of Latin parents are very old school. They keep the same
Mm-hmm.
tradition versus the
Yep.
parents nowadays. Parents nowadays are softening up their kids a lot versus Latin parents. They don't give a shit. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
child
18, you're an adult.
child abuse ain't a thing. Throw that shit out the window. You're leaving the house at 18, and you're gonna have a job by the time you're 15.
Oh yeah, as soon as you can get
And
a
so,
worker's permit, your ass is working.
and so I did. Yeah,
Yep.
I had to pay for my own shit. You know what I'm saying? My own
Yep.
phone bill, all that fucking shit.
Yep. Yeah.
But
It's
I
very
appreciate
different.
you for doing that because it develops you into adulthood type deal.
Oh yeah. It's
So
crazy because if you look at some of the people that are older than you that didn't have that growing up, they don't have any idea how to actually do real life.
they don't know how to
They
do
have
taxes. They don't know how to do tech.
they don't know how to do anything. They have to bring their parents along with them to do most things.
But
So
like taxes are self-explained, and they don't know how to do taxes. See, there's another thing I have.
coddled.
There's another thing I have upon most 21-year-olds. I know how to do my own fucking taxes.
As you should. As you should.
But because I had to learn. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode. I appreciate you coming on. This shit was fun.
Absolutely.
I
I
would
appreciate
say,
you asking.
I'll say this is. I'll say you're probably my favorite guest out of
Oh,
all of
thank
this one
you.
this fucking season. This shit was fun. I
Thank
laughed
you.
a lot. I laughed a lot. I had a good time. This was fun. It wasn't
Me too.
dry.
I appreciate it. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
it wasn't a dry episode. I've had some that were dry
No,
episodes. So I'm like, it was alright.
it's not possible.
Nah,
It's
this one
not
was fun.
possible.
This one was a good episode. But yeah, appreciate you coming on, and
Absolutely.
you have yourself a good night.
Thank you. You too.